Many people go through life lacking a sense of fulfillment. This is typically due to stress, anxiety, and other negative emotions. No matter where you are in your life, it's possible to find peace of mind. By identifying the root causes of this disquietude and how they impact your life, you can quiet the mental storm and find lasting happiness. We often try to improve our image in the eyes of others, to appear as the person they want us to be, or to be validated in our own eyes. But we must realize that self-image is nothing more than a construct. When we obsess over how we're regarded or attempt to validate our existence, we end up feeling disappointed and dissatisfied. The secret to truly enjoying life is to learn to accept and love ourselves as we are. When you have an identity that doesn't line up with reality, it can create problems in your life. For example, your self-image might say that you have high self-worth, but the situation in your life makes you think that you're worthless. This causes conflict within yourself because the two parts don't match. Because of this decoupling, you might start to suffer from feeling bad about yourself. It's a lot easier said than done, but most of us can improve our lives by eliminating the duality that plagues our thoughts. One of the biggest sources of suffering in our lives is the dualistic lens with which we see the world. According to the author, finding peace is about transcending this illusion and living in a world without opposites, a place where everything is experienced as truly good. The egoic state of consciousness sees the world in terms of good and bad, right and wrong, and these ideas hold us back from experiencing any real sense of peace or contentment. Everyone who talks of control speaks how we just want to control everything. But we have very little control of anything internally or externally. The root of the ego is ignorance of our true nature. Egoic consciousness is the result of projecting our mental images onto the world around us, projecting ourselves as separate beings in a world of separateness. This projection causes us to see everything besides us as external threats. If we're unhappy, it's because of something happening to us. If another person hurts us, it's because they're an enemy. If we hurt others, it's because they deserved it. Learning to truly relinquish control and let go of the sense of self allows you to be a part of everything in the natural world. It's completely normal to feel your heart pounding as you come to terms with the fact that everything you've ever known or truly understood could be wrong. Confronting the ego is one of the hardest things to do, yet one of the most rewarding steps on your journey towards self-discovery. Becoming a conscious person is an ongoing process. It can be uncomfortable to consider that you are not the limited identity your ego has constructed for you. But this necessary bit of discomfort is a part of the awakening process. The sooner you come to this realization, the sooner you can start to unlearn what your ego has told you. Feelings are not good or bad, they just are. Embrace them, live them, process them. But much like everything else, stop labeling them as good or bad and stop trying to control them. We tend to shy away from things that feel uncomfortable or painful. It's in our nature. Experiencing emotional or mental suffering is often complicated by the additional part of a story we create about it. Rather than face the pain, we get caught up in the details, which only leads to more frustration and unhappiness. The only thing that drives us away from discomfort is the desire to be rid of our emotional or mental suffering. Although we tend to distinguish between emotional and mental suffering, in reality, they are deeply interrelated. When we suffer intensely, we usually suffer emotionally, mentally, or both. This is what makes it so hard to bear. Moreover, when we cling to the idea of our suffering in our minds, we can prolong the pain for much longer than necessary.